Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And I got this aggressively average content for you today. As oh my goodness, I'm so grateful for every single one of you and your kind remarks after my last interview with Waters Above Crypto. A lot of you guys seem to enjoy the analysis and also the different perspective he has to offer. And trust me when I say, I've definitely adapted my perspective in the crypto space as far as my future profit taking strategy is concerned. Because realism combined with preparation is what's going to make us the most money in this market. And because of this, I'm going to be sharing with you guys the most important thing I've ever done. In my 2.5 hour long video yesterday with Waters Above Crypto, I went over and gave away in my headline my price targets for XRP that I'll be taking profits at. However, I've made a video going much more in depth and explaining how much I'm looking to take out at what price targets, my estate planning, and a couple different options I'm going to be utilizing to maximize my XRP profit taking and also wealth building. Ladies and gentlemen, this interview from yesterday is great context to help all of you prepare from the next cycle XRP is going to have. But in addition, on my OnlyFans down in the description below, I give away my 5-part XRP plan, and I show how much money you can realistically make with 100,000 XRP. Sell targets and estate planning are included. This is my second part to my overall exit strategy, and there are also some earlier posts in my OnlyFans explaining more parts of my exit strategy that'll help every single one of you build generational wealth in the months to come. In addition, I have to thank the new wave of subscribers I've been getting, and your video responses to all the questions you've been having have been answered. Now I look forward to assisting as many people as possible on this journey, but also note that I will be very public about when I'm taking profits from XRP and how much. However, the video I created, that's 35 minutes long, is to help every single one of you plan in advance and give a more thorough explanation with every single aspect of what I'm doing. But now let's get into the content for the day. Here, we have to start off by pointing out that Jim Cramer was wrong yet again, stating to avoid crypto and to stick with gold for a real hedge against inflation and economic chaos. Jim Cramer is always wrong. He is a pawn to make sure retail investors get wrecked and are used by institutions as exit liquidity. But here, in the same breath like clockwork, days after that prediction, crypto starts running up, and the EU has also voted to allow banks to hold 2% of capital in Bitcoin and crypto. While everyone was telling you to sell for the last few months, I've been telling you to hold and buy if you can. I've believed the bottom was in for a while, and now we're beginning to see more positive momentum. Crypto is not dead. It just went through some black swan events in Terra and FTX. But now it seems like we have some runway. And laws are being passed day by day, step by step to ensure that the foundation is set to be able to let mass sums of capital into this market. Banks are preparing to hold crypto, not to ban it. And every single one of you need to watch what they're doing and do not listen to what they say. In addition, something else you need to be paying attention to is how stablecoins are acting in the current environment. Stablecoins like Tether, Binance USD, USDC, and others are beginning to buy cryptos up again. This is not the time you want to be on the sidelines in the crypto market, as it's very possible that we could be in for a beautiful market recovery for the next couple months, and I definitely think so. You see, guys, all throughout 2022, the DXY went parabolic, causing crypto to crash. But now the DXY is crashing, and crypto seems to be ready for a run. Now, while I do not believe Bitcoin will be reaching new all-time highs, I do believe Bitcoin has the very real chance of retracing upwards towards the $40,000 mark, meaning it'll drag the rest of the crypto market up with it. And I believe within that window of Bitcoin rising, that will be when altcoins, specifically XRP and a few others, will really start getting going. XRP didn't get its full-blown bull run yet, and this retracement for Bitcoin back up towards the 40K mark is very possible within a window where the potential for this Ripple case ending is probable. There's a lot of variables at play here, ladies and gentlemen, but what I have to say is that regulations and the highest levels of government are being discussed, and I anticipate an accelerated rollout with this XRP case and other crypto regulations to begin this year. Here it states the White House blames Congress for failure to enact crypto regulations. And while politicians are pointing fingers, at the end of the day, the United States only has itself to blame.
For me, this event that you're hosting, Olga, this morning is about smart regulation. And the United States is teaching us exactly how not to do it. We still have a piece of legislation from 1946 which determines what a security is. And we're calling that interpretation and adapting it to a digital asset. You've got to be bonkers if you think that sort of framework is going to give any firm and any business any degree of certainty or security as to how they can manage their businesses. And therefore, that's where this event is focusing on smart regulation, because I believe that the US takes the view that when something is big enough, then it's going to move in and do things to it, which nobody knows where they're going to come from, why they're going to come for it. And the whole thinking behind regulatory action, in my view, should be when you're breaching something. And I don't see that in the United States. And so I think the sooner that they get to grips with actually deciding who's going to regulate this space, how they're going to regulate this space, and why they're going to regulate this space, the whole blockchain space and the whole crypto area will dramatically grow as a result of that certainty, because that's what firms are crying out for. So when firms come to Gibraltar, they want to know that they're coming here for certainty. You've got a legal framework, you know what you have to do, you know which hoops you have to jump through, you know what you have to do to stay on the right side of the law. That is a framework that gives people the certainty to be able to confidently invest and grow their businesses. And so the Ripple case, the Telegram case, and unfortunately there will probably be a few more firms very worried looking over their shoulders as to if they're going to get the call or not, for me stems from this lack of regulation. And that is what, I pulled a little hair I got left at, worrying about why we are in this position and why the US doesn't do what it should do, which is lead.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, what we're beginning to see is the United States get called out for their inaction and their antiquated rules and their regulation by enforcement approach. Elizabeth Warren has stated she's praising SEC Chair Gary Gensler and is slamming crypto. It's politicians like these that were getting bribed behind the scenes by FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried, and that's why they have no moral high ground to stand on. Gary Gensler is directly responsible for people losing money in Celsius, Voyager, BlockFi, FTX, and other crypto exchanges. But here they are trying to praise Gary. Here they are trying to come all after crypto after FTX paid them off. And this is what pisses me off. These regulators do nothing but get in the way of innovation and halt an industry that can actually help in this financial recession of a climate. You see, guys, every single time, politics will get in the way of progress. We're seeing it in crypto. And we're going to continue to see it moving forward. We saw how Ripple and XRP got sued. But now, we need to pay attention to the laws that are about to be passed, because this is going to be very important as an initial indicator for when this financial crisis is coming. Here, we have Congress ready to rename a bill banning Congress members from trading stocks after Nancy Pelosi. The Pelosi Act would ban members of Congress from being able to trade stocks. We've seen the insider trading that has happened on a congressional level. It's absurd. I believe Congress is going to pass a stock trading ban bill very soon, at some point in 2023. And that will be the final nail in the coffin for the US stock market. You all have to understand that I do believe we have a brief window to profit from the crypto market before all markets go kaput. But this ban right here that will allow Congress to exit the market is going to be extremely important as an indicator for when everything is going to start tumbling down. Keep an eye on Congress. They will use retail, people's 401ks, and people's retirements as exit liquidity. And once this does get passed, watch how crisis after crisis comes like clockwork. We need a massive problem reaction solution like scenario in order to bring on XRP adoption. And after Congress is out of this stock market and they've secured the bag, that's when whatever crisis they have in store will come, and that will be the catalyst for on-demand liquidity and XRP adoption at the highest levels it's going to achieve. Now, before I get into anything else, I have a brief clip from the Black Swan capitalist who has been on a tear recently. He had an interview with Peter Schiff and explained XRP to Peter Schiff. We know that Peter is not very fond of Bitcoin as a whole. However, when Black Swan capitalists explain XRP's utility and what it's doing, Peter Schiff understood immediately and actually gives XRP a chance. That's better than his view on Bitcoin. And I'm sure this will give a lot of confidence to a lot of XRP investors. Please take a listen.
Now, there is a digital asset that is used as a financial instrument of value. There's a limited amount. Now, the ability what this has to do is act as facilitating liquidity. It facilitates liquidity from point A to B, bypassing intermediaries and middlemen. It moves value at 3 to 5 seconds. It moves it costly at fractions of a penny, and it's scalable. So it could just keep growing and expanding and taking on more transactions and volume. And this digital asset is actually called XRP. Ripple is the company. XRP
is the token,
is the token which facilitates liquidity. Interesting is Ripple is rubbing shoulders with all the elite organizations and financial institutions in the world, and the World Bank Group, based out of Washington, had a document that was published. They had a stablecoin section, and they spoke specifically in detail of the use case and utility as a financial instrument for XRP. And then they talked about XLM, another digital asset for a different use case, a different market. So it's extremely interesting that all this happening in the world while Ripple is strategically positioning themselves with the financial institutions, because the value is in the protocol and the liquidity solutions that XRP will provide as a financial instrument.
Digital currencies that are backed by gold circulating around, whether any of them would benefit from moving along the Ripple blockchain, or whether or not Ripple has something to offer that would speed up the processes or reduce the cost, to the extent that Ripple did have something to add that other blockchains didn't. Then there might be some demand for Ripple up to a point. I mean, I don't know, what that point is or what price to assign to Ripple.
Now, guys, that we've seen the general overview of what's going on in the world, what's going on in the political realm when it comes to crypto, and what's going on with XRP, let's focus our attention to the Flair Network, as Hugo has had a lot of explaining to do over the last couple weeks. there has been some drama with the Flair distribution. FTSOs getting Flair a little earlier than retail investors has made some people upset. However, my general overview is that I don't care. They're building out the ecosystem, and I still have faith that the technology they're building is going to end up changing the world. I'm delegating, and the new distribution method for the rest of the supply of Flair has been voted upon. And now, something else that we've been waiting on is the launching of the F assets. F assets will be a powerful way we'll be able to earn passive income on our Stellar XRP and a couple other tokens. And I'm a big believer in this network, as all of you should be as well. Please take a listen to what Hugo had to say.
We have put forward bridge design called F Assets, which uses collateral on Flair to be able to, in an extremely decentralized and trustless manner, move assets from a blockchain like Bitcoin, so a non-smart contract blockchain where you can't operate a locking and burning mechanism, from Bitcoin, XRP, Doge. So you're using collateral on Flair to secure the issuance of essentially a mirrored asset on Flair.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I am very well aware that some of you may not have your Flair tokens yet. Some of you may be waiting on some exchanges like Coinbase, for example. However, there has been some news that has come out recently that is for you guys specifically. Wendy O came out with a clip describing how a lot of these exchanges don't legally have to give you your Flair token or airdrop tokens. And that's because it's in their terms and conditions. And while if they do pull this move off, that would be absolutely infuriating because they did agree to distribute Flair. Apparently, there is a legal process and they're not required to do so. The other day on my channel, I posted a class action lawsuit that XRP Army members are taking against exchanges that haven't distributed Songbird and Flair. And it's something I will be retweeting on my Twitter page to make sure people that didn't get their airdrop all stand up together to ensure they get what they deserve. That's completely unfortunate, and it's infuriating. And I 100% stand with XRP investors and how they're being wronged right now by these exchanges. Not only do we have to deal with random bankruptcies from exchanges, but now we also have to deal with holdouts that aren't giving us what we deserve. That being said though, guys, when we look at the overall crypto market dynamics, and we see that the market is beginning to rebound, with regulation coming and the end of this XRP case on its way as well, the overall outlook is pretty positive, as I believe generational wealth is on its way for XRP. If you aren't doing so already, subscribe to my OnlyFans to get the remainder of my XRP exit strategy, as I feel will be essential in your process in ensuring you have every single avenue for XRP profit taking and for generational wealth building ticked off. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bearable Bull here. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. Now I'll be back tomorrow with another video.
Still waiting for your Flair airdrop from Coinbase or any other centralized exchange? Here's what you need to know. Funny story is I actually did a video about this quite some time ago when the Flair airdrop first dropped. And basically, if you had your XRP on a centralized exchange, the centralized exchange does not actually have to give you the Flair airdrop. They do not have to honor any of these types of airdrops any way, shape, or form. And this is why self-custody is so important. Self-custody basically means understanding what a private seed phrase is, key password is, and storing your own cryptocurrency. And the reason why we do this is so that we don't have to deal with centralized exchanges that could potentially steal from you, your airdrops, go through Chapter 11 bankruptcy, etc. I know this is a really terrible concept for some people to understand because basically the exchange is stealing from you, but at the same time, it is in their terms of services. services. And they're not required to do any type of legwork for you. And a lot of times they simply take that airdrop. This could potentially change with the exchange you're using, but to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised. It's happened to me. I've missed out on a lot of money before.
Why do I hold XRP? Because Ripple's the chosen one to lead the new global digital payment system, and they use XRP. In 2013, the Federal Reserve began looking for faster payments options. 2 years later, an action plan was born and a federal payments task force was created. It included one company focused on crypto, Ripple. In 2014, the World Bank and Better Than Cash Alliance, which includes the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Clinton Global Initiative, and the governments of 32 countries, put out a report called The Opportunities of Digitizing Payments. 1 year later, the Better Than Cash Alliance featured one crypto company on their website, Ripple. Today, Better Than Cash Alliance and all other UN initiatives are focused on a single agenda, the Sustainable Development Goals for 2030. You can see the SDGs logo on Bill Gates' lapel, world-leading companies, the Better Than Cash Alliance website, and on the UN's official exchange, Exchange. What crypto is Exchange officially utilizing for their carbon credit solution? XRP. The world will move to a new international standard for exchanging electronic messages between financial institutions by 2025 called ISO 20022. Who was the first ISO 20022 member focused on distributed ledger technology? Ripple. Who's partnered with over 300 financial institutions, including Bank of America, American Express, PNC, Santander, SBI, HSBC, Standard Chartered Bank, Bank of England, India, Singapore, Scotland, Australia, and Indonesia, the largest banks in Japan, Canada, Egypt, the Middle East, United Arab Emirates, Thailand, Morocco, Bhutan, South Korea, Brazil, and Latin America? Ripple. Who is a former employee overseeing the Federal Reserve? Ripple. A former employee overseeing the world's largest asset manager, BlackRock's digital asset division? Ripple. Leading Australia's CBDC effort? Ripple. Who hired a former Treasury of the United States? Ripple. 2 former Federal Reserve attorneys to their board? Ripple. 2 former Clinton and Obama advisors, former Minister of Defense and Economics of Germany, former business director at Swift, former Swift board member, former CFO of PayPal, former head of the DTCC, former chief business officer at Uber, former VP of Amazon, and former SEC chair on their legal team? Ripple. Who's a member of the Digital Pound Foundation, Digital Dollar Project, Digital Euro Association, Mojaloop, IMF's high-level advisory board on fintech, Hyperledger Blockchain Consortium, Open Payments Coalition, Faster Payments Council, Global Payments Steering Group, Cross-Border Working Group, International Association for Trusted Blockchain Applications, Crypto Climate Accord, University Blockchain Initiative, World Wide Web Consortium, and a featured partner of the World Economic Forum with 3 members of their team directly listed on the WF website? Ripple. Now, does Ripple and XRP sound like they're going to disappear, or do they sound like they're part of a much bigger plan? You decide.